So chapter 4, D and F block elements. Okay. So first you know that D block elements means the last electron entering into D subshell is called D block elements. In the periodic table, the position it is in between S block elements and P block elements. S block elements means last electron entering into S subshell is called S block elements. S can accommodate maximum of 2 electrons. So group 1 elements, S subshell it is 1 electron, and group 2 elements, S subshell it is 2 electrons. Group 1 elements are called alkali metals. Group 2 elements are called alkaline earth metals. Okay. Then P block elements. P block elements group 13 to group 18 are called P block elements. The last electron entering into P subshell. P can accommodate maximum of 6 electrons. So group 13 to group 18, the electron it is P1 to P6, P1 to P6. In between group 3 to group 12 it is there. That group 3 to group 12 are called D block elements. Group 3 to group 12 are called D block elements. Clear? This D block elements are called transition elements or transition metals. Transition elements or transition metals. You know that D can accommodate a maximum of 10 electrons. How many electrons? 10 electrons. D1 to D10. D1 to D10. Clear? Okay. So you know that D1 it is scandium2. Here it is 3D series elements. So when we are taking 3D series elements, scandium2 zinc belongs to 3D series. 3D series and it is transition elements. D1 to D10 configuration. S it is as usual 1 to 2. Depends on the element 1 to 2 they will fill. Clear? So D block elements means how many groups are there? Group 3 to group 12. It is called D block elements. And in D block elements, the D orbital it is progressively filled. D orbital it is progressively filled. And here there are of 4 long periods. 4 periods are there. Which are the 4 periods? 3D series, 4D series, 5D series and 6D series. Okay. So how many groups are in D block? Group 3 to group 12. Group 3 to group 12. And how many periods are there? 3D series, 4D series, 5D series and 6D series. And this chapter name it is D and F block elements. Then what are F block elements? D block elements means D orbitals are progressively filled. So F block elements means F orbitals are progressively filled. Okay, here there is no group, only 2 series are there, that is lanthanoids and actinoids. If for F orbital it is progressively filled, it is called lanthanoids. If 5F orbitals are progressively filled, it is actinoids. Clear? So lanthanoids and actinoids are together, it is called F block elements or they are called inner transition metals. Inner transition elements. D block elements are called transition metals and F block elements are called inner transition metals. They are called inner transition elements. In the case of transition metals, D orbital it is progressively filled, that is n-1 d orbital it is progressively filled in the case of transition metals, that is outermost one ns orbital is there. Example it is 3d 4s. 4s it is outermost shell and 3d it is inner shell only. Okay, n-1 d. But in the case of inner transition elements, F block it is progressively filled, that is n-2 F. F orbital it is progressively filled. Lanthanoid means it is 4F and actinoid it is 5F. Clear? Okay. Then there are mainly, coming to D block elements, there are mainly 4 series, which are they? 3D series, 4D series, 5D series, and 6D series. And the inner transition elements, that is lanthanoids and actinoids, are 4F series, 5F series. 4F series, the elements it is cerium to lutetium, and 5F it is thorium to lawrencium. They are called lanthanoids and actinoids respectively. So it is clear. Okay. Electronic configuration of first transition series. The general electronic configuration of transition elements are N-1D 1 to 10, Ns 1 to 2, N-1D 1 to 10, Ns 1 to 2, N-1D 1 to 10. Why it is mentioned that it is 1 to 10? Because D can accommodate a maximum of 10 electrons. So 1 to 10. And you know that S can accommodate a maximum of 2 electrons. So it is Ns 1 to 2. So the general electronic configuration of D block elements it is N-1D 1 to 10, Ns 1 to 2. Here it is 3D series elements, that is scandium to zinc given. Here it is 3D orbitals are gradually filled. Scandium atomic number it is 21. What is the electronic configuration? Argon it is a noble gas. Remaining it is a 3D1 4s2. What is the atomic number of argon? Argon it is 18. Okay, if you have any confusion when you are writing electronic configuration like this, full electronic configuration you can write it, that is better. I am preferring that one, full electronic configuration. So what is the electronic configuration of scandium? 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s2, 3d1. According to Aufbau principle or N plus L rule, it is a 4s2, 3d1. When you are writing 3d1, 4s2, that also correct only. So the arrangement it is first 4s will fill, after that only 3d. According to which principle? Aufbau principle. So 3d1, 4s2. Then titanium it is 3d2, 4s2. Vanadium 23 it is 3d3, 4s2. And the chromium it is an exceptional case. Copper also exceptional case. Our expectation it is 3d4, 4s2, but it is 3d5, 4s1. This is the actual configuration. Expected it is 3d4, 4s2, but due to symmetry or due to stability of the electronic configuration or due to the symmetry of the arrangement and also exchange energy, the electronic configuration become 3d5, 4s1. You know that half-filled orbitals and fully filled orbitals are highly stable. D can accommodate a maximum of 10 electrons. D10 it is stable, D5 also stable. Then here it is a copper. What is the expected electronic configuration? 3d9, 4s2. You know that half filled electronic configuration and fully filled configuration it is stable. So one electron will exchange to 3d. Then the electronic configuration become 3d10, 4s1. So what is the electronic configuration of chromium? 3d5, 4s1. And copper it is 3d10, 4s1. What is the reason? Because of stability. Stability depends on symmetry and exchange energy. Symmetrical arrangement. 3d5 means 5d orbitals are there. What are the 5d orbitals? dxy, dxz, dyz, dx square minus y square, dz square. Single occupation of electrons means it is a symmetry only. Okay, each orbital one electron. Symmetrical arrangement, that is stable. Okay, similarly copper 2 electrons in each d orbital. So total it is 10 electrons, that also stable only. Okay, so chromium and copper due to stable electronic configuration or in order to attain stability, the chromium electronic configuration become 3d5, 4s1, and copper it is 3d10 4s1. Then zinc atomic number it is 30. It is a fully filled electronic configuration. D maximum 10 electrons. D here it is fully filled, and S it is also fully filled. So it is clear. So what is the general electronic configuration of a D block elements? N-1 D 1 to 10, Ns 1 to 2. Scandium to zinc, that also you have to by heart. Scandium to zinc 30 elements, 1 to 30 elements. Important. What are the 10 elements? That is scandium to zinc 21 to 30. Scandium, titanium, vanadium, chromium, manganese, iron, cobalt, nickel, copper, zinc. Okay, and d orbitals it is progressively filled. 3d orbitals are progressively filled in the case of 3d series elements. Two exceptional cases there. What is the two exceptional case in the case of chromium and copper? Chromium atomic number 24. Electronic configuration it is 3d5 4s1. Copper atomic number 29, and the electronic configuration it is 3d10 4s1. And next it is here it is a D block elements are called transition metals. Why they are called transition metals? Transition metals are defined as incompletely filled d orbitals. Incompletely filled d orbitals in the ground state or in the neutral state or in their common oxidation state. Incompletely filled d orbitals. Elements whose d orbital it is incompletely filled, that elements are called what? Transition elements. So when we are taking 3d series, 4d series, 5d series, 3 elements are not considered as transition elements. Which are they? Zinc, cadmium and mercury. Zinc, cadmium and mercury. Okay, the last elements of each series 3d, 4d, 5d, zinc, cadmium and mercury are not considered as transition elements. They are D block elements, but they are not transition elements. Why they are not considered as a transition elements? Because d orbital it is completely filled. D orbital it is completely filled in the case of ground state or in their common oxidation state. D block elements, what is the common oxidation state? +2. +2 is the common oxidation state. So it is clear. Okay. The general characteristics of transition elements. Okay. The first characteristics of transition elements it is nearly all the transition elements have typical metallic properties. What are the metallic properties? High tensile strength, ductility, malleability, high thermal and electrical conductivity and metallic luster. That is a common property of a metal. Then second property it is except mercury, which is liquid at room temperature. Other transition elements have typical metallic structures. Only one transition metal which is liquid in nature. Which what is that? Mercury. All other it is solid state. Only one it is mercury, it is liquid in nature. Then they have a high melting point and a boiling point. These are the general characteristics of transition metals only. General characteristics. Okay, so they have high melting point and a boiling point, and they have a higher heat of vaporization. So they have a high melting and boiling points and have a higher heat of vaporization than non-transition elements. Here it is non-transition elements mentioned, it is S block elements and P block elements. Then the transition elements have very high density as compared to metals of group 1 and 2. S block elements are also metals. They also have density, but compared to S block elements, transition elements have very high density. Very high density. How to calculate density? Density is equal to mass divided by volume. density and mass are directly proportional. Okay, then next property it is the first ionization energies of D block elements are higher than those of S block elements but are lesser than those of P block elements. What do you mean by ionization energy or ionization enthalpy? The energy required to remove the most loosely bounded electron from an neutral gaseous atom is called ionization enthalpy. Energy required to remove the electron is called ionization energy or ionization enthalpy. Why D block elements having more ionization enthalpy compared to S block? S block two groups are there, group 1 and group 2. Group 1 S containing 1 electron, group 2 S containing 2 electrons. Okay, D block also S containing 2 electrons. But when we are comparing ionization enthalpy, D block elements higher ionization enthalpy. Why? Because S block means in the periodic table it is left side compared to D block. You know that left to right atomic size decreases. Left to right atomic size will decrease. That means electrons are more attracted towards the nucleus. So it requires more amount of energy to remove the electron. That is why it is mentioned that first ionization energies of D block elements are higher than those of S block elements but are lesser than those of P block elements. So it is clear, lesser than those of P block elements. Then next it is they are electropositive in nature. Electropositive means what? They can easily lose electrons rather than accepting electrons. Loss of electron means they will get a positive charge. So they are electropositive in nature. Then most of them form colored compounds. Why they are forming colored compounds? Due to the presence of unpaired electrons. Colored compounds due to the presence of DD transition. DD transition means due to the presence of unpaired electrons, they will absorb energy from visible light and will radiate energy. Absorption of energy from visible region and the electron from lower energy d orbital, it is excited to higher energy d orbital. That is called what? DD transition and will radiate energy. The color it is a complementary of that color it is absorbed. Okay, so most of them form colored compounds due to the presence of unpaired electrons. They are existing DD transition. Then they have a good tendency to form complexes. Why they are forming complexes? Due to the availability of a vacant d orbital. Due to the availability of vacant d orbitals, due to the availability of a vacant d orbital. So you know that for the formation of complexes, when the ligands approaching to the central metal atom, there should be vacant orbitals. Vacant orbital means without electrons. Why? Because ligand itself give a pair of electrons for the formation of bonds, coordinate bonds. The central metal atom not using any electrons. For the formation of bonds, ligands only using electrons. That means metal should have vacant orbitals. Then only ligands can make a bond with that metal. Then they exhibit several oxidation state. Why several oxidation state? Due to the presence of unpaired electrons. Several oxidation state. Then their compounds are generally paramagnetic in nature. Paramagnetism means unpaired electrons. Diamagnetism means paired electrons. Paramagnetism, unpaired electrons. Diamagnetism, it is paired electrons. And they form alloys with other metals. What do you mean by alloys? Mixture of two or more metals of nearly same atomic size. nearly same atomic radii or atomic size. A mixture of metals. Blending of metals is called alloys. Two examples for alloys are brass and bronze. Brass is a mixture of zinc and copper. Bronze is a mixture of copper and tin. That and all. One more question. What are alloys? Examples for alloys: brass and bronze. Brass is a mixture of zinc and copper, and bronze is a mixture of copper and tin. Then next property of transition metal, it is they form interstitial compounds. Interstitial compounds means the smaller atoms like hydrogen, carbon and nitrogen, which are occupied in the interstitial site of the transition metal, is called interstitial compounds. What are interstitial compounds? Smaller atoms like carbon, nitrogen, hydrogen, which are boron, which are in the interstitial site of the transition metal crystal lattice. It is called interstitial compounds. Examples of interstitial compounds are titanium carbide, manganese nitride, iron hydride are examples for interstitial compounds. Then next property, it is most of the transition metals such as manganese, nickel, cobalt, chromium, vanadium, platinum, and their compounds have been used as a good catalyst. Most of the transition metals are used as a good catalyst due to variable oxidation state. Catalytic property due to variable oxidation state. So these are the important general characteristics of transition elements.